Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Ma'am.
Okay, so guys, I have given you sufficient time for your revision. So before we start, tell me, I could see that ma'am was helping you with some of the earlier pending assignments. So actually, I had not given any assignment on Saturday, but looks like some of you are pending in earlier. But I need to, in order to proceed, I need some lab time to be spent. So can you just tell me, have you started looking at today's two important things, string handling and date time handling? Okay, so just for my own feedback, tell me how many of you are still, because day 8 there was no assignment. So that means if you are having something on the earlier pending work, how many of you are still solving earlier assignments? Give me the number. Just tell me who is still not completed the assignment till day 7, because day 8 was no assignment at all. Yeah, start responding so that I will know the number. You have to tell me, otherwise I won't have any idea about where you are. No. The one who are remaining. I am counting 2 hours, 2 so far. I'm counting. You tell me. Yeah, 5 I could count so far. 6. 9. Yeah, 10, 11. I can see 11, 12. Yeah, I'm counting. Okay. 13. I could count 13. Okay, so when 13 have responded, at least 20 must be there. I can say 20 to 25 overall. So guys, I will definitely help you, but towards the end of the session. So like I said, I'm not going to, if you have a specific question, I don't know what somebody said from the missed recording and missed videos, I did not understand that. So tell me, is there any of today's code sample, any of it? Because I want to start solving this practical assignment, lab assignment with you parallelly as quickly as possible. But before that, tell me if you have gone through any code sample and which you have not understood, so you can tell me. Otherwise, we are going to start the that employee-based assignment which I discussed, which will touch upon all the earlier concepts as well. Yeah, I'm waiting another minute. So if there are no specific questions regarding today's this, we are going to start immediately on solving the assignment. Because still, no, string class today's string class, Abhijit, is a vague thing. You tell me that this is the code sample you have gone. I'm not going to revise completely. That will happen tomorrow morning. Today I want to solve because you are still unable to, you guys in general are still unable to do the assignments in time. There is no compare method we learned this one. You mean, Madhuri, you mean compare to? No, don't give me like that. I'm not accepting that. You tell me this is the code sample and tell me, at least take those many efforts that you have to go through the code sample and tell me that this is the code which I have not understood. And I'm not going to cover all of it just for next 10 minutes because I want more time to solve the lab assignment. Because what we do is otherwise Abhishek, I saw your this question. I'm just completing my statement. We waste too much time in just revising the concept without you doing any hands-on. Okay, anyone wants to answer him? Abhijit is asking, is it a literal string example? What's your answer? Anyone wants to answer? When this string will be created? Abhijit, the moment you say new, a string object, this is not an example of literal string. If you say string str equal to ABC, then it is non-literal. People have given you. So the moment you say new, dynamically means actually at the runtime, when the main thread starts calling main method, then the object will be created. Yes. Anyone, anything else? Yes, and there are other things also. For example, there are certain methods such as plus and all, which will also create the literal ones. But currently, as far as today's understanding goes, in the beginning, in the what do you say, the ones with the quotes are the literal ones. Yes. String class constructor we have done, Viraj. Otherwise, how did you create the string? String is one equal to new string. See the Rohan's question. So one constructor I have taken. One constructor you have taken. See the Rohan's answer. String S1 equal to new string hello. So what will you call this, Viraj? Isn't it a string class constructor? It is a string class constructor. So there are overloaded constructors, lot of them. The one which is created with byte array, carry, those I have not taken. So I will just show you things, and whenever we need extra things, that I will discuss. That is the approach. I said, if I sit down and start showing you entire string API, it will take you easily 2-3 days. Important ones I have taken. Anything else? Any specific code sample? Okay, so whatever we are going to do, we'll revise the other things also. So let us get into hands-on mode. So I would suggest the lab faculties also, if they are in the middle of some awesome calls and individual calls, please pause, please talk for a while. Otherwise, what happens is, again, the same things I have to explain in the tomorrow morning session. So let us have the, what do you say, mixed session, such as, we are solving it together. And after that, remaining time, I don't think will require more than 1 hour. So after that, again, you can resume with your earlier assignments completion. So open, I'm telling you the instructions. So open that way, and we'll soon reach at the common point. So open day 9 help, please. Open the sequence document. Have you found it? Day 9 sequence document. Tell me yes or no. Because that is where the problem statement is mentioned. Okay. And go towards the end. And here I have mentioned the objective. Found everything? Found this objective? So read it. I had discussed it, but then I also observed that the number of participants, see guys, I give you 10 minutes break in between, and then I stretch it to around 140, but there were still less participants. Anyway, you read it. I don't know who all was present and all that. And we had started designing it also. Okay, so this is the anyway. I hope you start, you read it. I'll wait for a minute. Yes, Ankit, I'm going to discuss it in a minute, and then you can start creating. It's a parallel session. And here, please open this whiteboard, because that is where we have drawn the first thing. Has everyone completed reading the assignment, reading the objective? Okay, so nobody's, because I don't want that some of you have understood and only partially you have understood and not. So here, first, already I explained, but again, I don't know how many of you are present. So can everyone create? That is what Ankit was asking me. Can we start creating? So I just asked him to wait for a while. So here, can you identify the employee class? Now I'm not mentioning the package. You can give the package name. Generally, I give COMAP 4 to indicate these are all the 4 classes. Employee class. Declare employee ID, first name, last name, email, department, join date, salary. Can you create a constructor which has all the arguments? I would recommend don't create this constructor yet, because you can't blindly code. You can't code. You will require, we'll see whenever we are needing it, that time we will create. But do override the equals method, which is easy. Employee ID based, which is an integer. Okay. Later I can make it email. I have already given you student ID and subject and all, and keep the code ready. So has everyone understood how to write an employee class? It is going to get expanded. Did I mention toString? Oh, I did not mention toString. Sorry. Just add a toString also here. Equals and toString as well. Tell me, is the problem statement clear so far? Does everyone feel comfortable? Start writing, creating. Okay, create a new project, brand new project, day 9 assignment. This is your first longest assignment you are having, which has so many classes and there is an interaction between the classes and all. So create a new project, day 9 assignment, and I'm waiting for 7 minutes so that you can generate the code. You know that. So 10 minutes, let's make it 10 minutes, and then I will write and then you can compare. So 10 minutes, write employee class. If the instruction is not clear, then ask me a question on the chat. Otherwise, start writing. Do let me know when you are done. Only employee class I'm saying. Shubham, date class belongs to which package? Is it in the package java.lang? Then first you have to import that package. So first see, even if you say control space, it will give you the clue. So import java.util.date and that error will go away. Shubham, you should just take the cursor over that error and it will immediately tell you what kind of error it is. And you should fix it in a minute. Go ahead, finish it fast. Done. Very good, Akshay. I'm still waiting for 3 minutes. Very good, guys. But let's wait for others also for 3 minutes and then I'm going to start writing parallelly. So whoever has completed, please confirm it whenever I start writing the code. But I'm still not writing. I'm waiting for 2-3 minutes for everyone to try on their own. But then do confirm after I write. Yeah, I'm looking at your feedback. I'm looking at your chat messages. I'm glad to see people are doing it. Let's wait for another 2 minutes. Don't worry about it, Shubham. It's ahead of topic. You just focus on the things which you have done. Okay, so I'll start writing. Those who are stuck can join me here. I told you to create a new one. So I'm creating as you. I'll just call it as V9 lab. So I can share it with you. And we are creating the first class as already discussed. So I'm creating it as OMAP4 and the name of the class is employee. So I had given you the attributes which I wanted for employee. So I'm just writing them here so I'll not miss out. You can add them more on the same line, but generally the norm is one attribute at this one line. Norm means a standard writing practice. Those who have completed, guys, please check whether you are following all this camel case notation and all that. So this is all for the your betterment. You can write multiple strings on one line, first name, comma, last name, comma, email also. I told you that I want the department ID. I told you in the classroom has to be string. And here, like Shubham was asking, he was getting it. So when you say date, of course, you have to be clear which date you are talking about. So if you just say control space, it will ask you. So java.sql date is a subclass of java.util, which we will use in databases. So java.util is the one and the join date. And then we have the salary. Okay, so this is how, just check the state, just confirm primary key. Rohit, I have said this PK as a primary key so many times, which is nothing but the unique ID. You will understand this term in database when you learn databases. Now, is everyone confident on 9th day to write the constructor at least? All arguments constructor? Okay, so then I would say don't waste your time. Keep the practice of writing the constructors. But today we want to, what do you say, do it in a given time, fast time. So here you can say generate constructor using fields and ask yourself, have I said that you generate anything on your own, including employee ID and all? I have not said anything. So that is how you should understand the problem statement. So generate that. So this kind of things, will make the code generating, code development faster. If you are saying that we are not going to get it in technical interviews, that's why I asked you. Given a problem statement, at least writing a constructor should be done by everyone. Next one. Here, do you want, when you say the display the information of employee using toString, we don't want that hash code version. So override toString. For which purpose? To replace hash code returning address returning version by the actual details. So again, I'm saying today is the day for, date handling, string date handling, revision of equals and all. So you can generate this also. So then that is how whenever we say it can finish within literally 2 minutes. Okay, toString. So here again, I'm asking you, if you say no, I'm not so confident about toString, I'll say no problem. Write it yourself and instead of generating. So that's a personal call. Now see the next thing, what we said out in that picture. So here, I told you all arguments constructor, I scratched this Shubham. Shubham was asked, somebody was asking, I don't know, Shubham, Rohit, somebody, that what about this primary key and all that. So leave it aside. But here, At least everyone understands from my discussion that we will say two employees are same if and only if their primary key, unique ID, employee ID is the same. So I'm not allowing you to generate the equals. You can generate equals and hash code also from the Java tools from ID, not allowed to. So here, override equals. For which purpose? For replacing what by what? Anyone wants to tell me? For replacing what by what? We are going to, you have already hopefully overridden the equals to replace something by something. So reference equality by content equality for replacing reference equality. So this reference equality is inherited from object class by contents equality. And are we seriously going to check the entire content, which is so many fields? Of course not. So this is where we use the term primary key, so many days. So that primary key term is taken from database. What it means is the unique ID. Remember the terms which I'm using. Every day I say it so many times. Unique ID. And that is going to be based on simple employee ID. Later, I can make it more interesting by saying employee ID and email, or employee ID, first name, last name, and email. We can write the composite criteria. I have already given you the practice of that. So here, for your own benefit, do this. Only important questions I'll ask you. What should be the argument of equals here? Employee or object? Of course, object. If you give it as employee, would that be an overloaded method or overriding one? L or R? Overloaded. And what is wrong in overloaded? There's nothing wrong in overloaded. Of course, at override, it will not compile. But when you use overloaded methods, will you achieve runtime polymorphism or compile time polymorphism? Answer is compile time. And the moment you try to go by indirect referencing, such as object type of reference pointing to employee, everything will fail. I've said this statements multiple times, so be careful about them. So here, keep the signature, keep the type of the argument, and keep the signature same. So let's say object O. So for your understanding, again, I would insist till you say, okay, I can write equals in the middle of 9. Till then, add something in employee equals. So you will know your equals method is getting called or when and all that. Okay, so currently you don't require, but you are soon going to require. Now tell me, what is the next step I should do? Last so many days we are writing the equals method. Last 2-3 days, I guess. Tell me, what should I do the first? Checking null, not required. Avinash is saying checking null. Avinash, instance of checking does include the null checking also. So why do you want to increase the code? Just simply do the instance of checking. Because when you say, oh, instance of employee. So tell me guys, if somebody passes you the null value, what will this return? I've written it in my readme regarding instance of. What will instance of operator return? If you give null, false. So our job is done. So why do you require null checking? So here, you just come here. If, okay, now tell me how many fields based criteria it is. Is it a single field or is it a multiple field? Equality, single field. So you can directly do the downcasting and do. But if I give you more complex assignment, which has ID, email, first name and last name, all are same, or joint date is also same, then you can narrow it down once and all. So here it is one liner. Tell me, what should I do? What are the two things which you are comparing? This dot employee ID. Can I say directly here O dot employee ID? Answer is no. Tell me why. There's a compiler error. Why? We have said this so many times. Anyone wants to tell me why there is? No, downcasting is the solution. You did not. Yes, Vaibhav's answer I'll pick up. Compiler goes by the, checks it by the type of the reference. So what is the type of O? Object. And in object class, is there an employee ID data member? No. So that is the reason. If you are using superclass reference to point to subclass object, and if you are trying to access the additional members, what is it required, guys? Object class does not have employee ID. I can accept that answer also. What is it you require is the explicit downcasting. Upcasting, natural, implicitly done by the compiler. Downcasting, explicit. So now do the downcasting properly. So here, what is it? I'm sure you, I hope, not sure, but I hope you have done this already. And then you add one more. So if and only if somebody gives you an employee using object reference and employee IDs are same, it will return true. In all other cases, if it is not an employee or if IDs are matching, IDs are not matching, return false. So this was what your requirement. So tell me, after showing this, has everyone completed it? Because this was step 1 or step 0.5, half a step or something. Nobody pending here, nobody confused here. I'm telling you now, start generating the toString and start generating the constructor. You don't have to write each and every line. And when you get a compiler error, like I was explaining, Shubham, you just take a cursor there. For example, if you don't write this, of course, you'll get a compiler error. So what stops you from just taking the cursor there and read? It tells you date cannot be resolved to the type. Means what? Compiler is not finding the date and it gives you the solution. So solution means suggestions. So pick up this and it will import. Are we 100% clear? Nobody feeling lost? Okay. So this was your step 1. I think I like almost 20 minutes. So by then everyone would have finished. So now do little bit of thinking before we write your custom exception class. This is what I had explained. Equals to string. Equals right now not is being it's not being used. To string also. So now let me ask you a question. Let's see based on today's understanding. So what is the data type of join date in my employee class? In our employee class, it is a date, the uppercase. Okay. So now tell me, whenever we write this tester, that will be the last thing. You tell me, user is going to supply, enter the join date, but that will be in which form? User will give it in which form? String form. And in scanner class, is there any parsing method for string to date? Answer is no. So give me the name of the class which has parsing functionality. Everyone understands it? The answer is not text. I don't know what you're saying. Simple date format. So now at least open the Java docs with me. And in the Java docs, I told you so clearly, so harshly. Sometimes I know I speak harsh because finally your good or your, what do you say, evolution to Java developer is important. So please search here for simple date format. So simply say simple date and all, it will pick up here. And you will see this simple date format. You have seen that is why I did not do the separate revision. You just have to create the instance of it using the constructor. So anyone wants to tell me which constructor we have used? First one or second one? The second one. And what are the pattern characters? Everyone knows day for day, month, year. I don't want to store any time. That time example sometime later whenever we require. So we are going to create this. And then we are going to use the two inherited functionality. Everyone is sitting with me with Java docs. Nobody is lazy and nobody is having, everyone has opened the Java docs. Without that, you can't survive. So go to the superclass date format and look for a parse function. Guys, they have given you example. So date format, that is simple date format dot parse, in goes the string and gets converted to date. So that is your string to date conversion. And then search for format. And here you will see lot of formats. So here one simple format method where you can supply the date and it returns the string. So tell me, I did not spend time separately in revision because our assignment required anything. So now, okay, I'll ask you exactly. So the constructor of simple date format, the parse function and the format, is it all clear? 3 things are clear? Only 3 or 4 answers I got. What about others? You got that? So now tell me, here, look at this. Whatever is related to employee class, you should keep it here. So here, we are going to create the instance of a first a reference and then the instance of simple date format. So answer my question, because finally we are going to use it for parsing and all that, parsing, formatting and all that. So can you tell me, if I'm going to recruit, let's say 20 employees, 20 is just a number, 20, 100, 200, whatever capable employees I find, I will recruit. Okay. So suppose I'm recruiting, let's say 20 employees. How many copies of ID, name, email, department ID, etc. will be made for 20 employees? 1 copy or 20 copies? Guys, you're saying somebody said 1. These are the instance variable. The moment I said 20 instances, how many copies of instance variable? 20. But if I ask you, how many converters, how many parsers, how many simple date format objects you will require? 1 or 20? Answer is 1 single instance can be shared. The moment I say you can create 1 single object, 1 single instance of SDF and share, what will you mark it as? What will you mark simple date format as? Static member or non-static? Of course, a static member. So with that understanding, first write a comment. Add SDF is for simple date format, for which 2 purposes: for parsing. Write the comment, without that you cannot understand. That is string to date, and for formatting purpose. So what is it? Format. Format is nothing but date to string. Understood the statements I'm making? Write the comment. See, this whole solution I'm going to upload on the Google Drive after the session. But this is the idea, this is the experience I want to give you, so that I'm explaining things also, I'm getting things done also from you. So typically, don't hide. Anyway, it is a single instance. So, and you will see later, your validation rules and all will require it. So mark it as public, static. Don't make it as final. And then make it as creator the simple date format. Guys, when you say control space, it will automatically import. If you don't want to say control space, you can write it yourself. I mean, import it yourself and give a variable name. Waiting here. So we are going very slow incrementally. Just make sure that you have imported that and you have created the reference here. So if anyone asks you, I mean, if I ask you, how many state members are there? So answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't count SDF as the state. Where will this SDF be memory allocated? In the method area. All static members are memory allocated in the method area. Everyone knows that. You got that? Okay. So now can you tell me, what is the default value of SDF here? If I don't initialize it, what will be the default value of SDF? Wrong. Wrong. Not today's. Come on. It's a reference type of variable. Where is your understanding? All reference type of variables, what are the default values it is assigned? Null. Okay. So now tell me, is there any special way? Is there any suggested way that this is where you should initialize all the static members? Yes. So guys, this is all revision of earlier plus taking you ahead. So here, I'll wait for a minute. Add the static initializer block for initializing, initializing SDF. And what is the pattern I want? I want day and maybe month in digit. So slash I want as a separator. So 2-digit month, and I want year, 4-digit year. So I'm waiting for a minute. Write a static initializer block for initializing simple date format with this particular pattern. Do it. The whole session is going to be like this today. And I'm seriously suggesting, don't skip such important lab sessions and do something on your own. I'll wait. I'm waiting exactly for a minute. Let me know when you are done. Very good one. Okay, great. So people have done it. So here, start with the static initializer block. You know how to write static initializer block. And how many times the static initializer block will get called? Once or multiple times? Exactly one. And when it will get called? Whenever this employee class is getting loaded. Okay. So here, just directly say SDF is equal to new simple date format and give the pattern. And I've already told you, D for day of the month. Have you written uppercase M or lowercase m? Check. Lowercase m for minutes, uppercase m for months, and then give me the 4-digit format. Okay. Has everyone completed it? Nobody is lagging behind. I hope you will feel better after solving this assignment together. At least you'll get a feeling of completion. Done or not done? Done? I'll wait for this. Just a one-liner, static initializer block and initialize this. Anytime you want to confirm, you can add a SOP in employee static initializer block if you want it. Otherwise don't. So now I'm asking you a question. Look at your toString. Just come down and look at your toString and answer me this. When you say join date is equal to plus join date, can anyone tell me which classes, which method will get called here? For the generation of this employees toString, when I say plus join date, can you tell me here which classes, which method will get called? When I say plus toString, I've highlighted the code. See, employee ID, first name, last name, fine. But the join date part, let's see. Date classes toString will get called. You're absolutely right, those who answered. So now tell me, don't tell me by memory. It is all the hybridization. Hybrid means understanding also and doing also. So please look for, open the Java docs, otherwise nothing will reach you. Look for a date. And here, when you say date, please choose java.util.date. I hope now you are expert in at least going through the search box and opening the classes. And here you open as in look for toString. So it says converts this to string. Don't trust all of that. And tell me, if you if you use date classes toString, it is going to give you day of week, month, day, then hours, minutes, seconds, time zone, and the year. But tell me, do you need this complete information or do you need only date related information? Only date, because that is what user is going to accept. So is there any solution not to write the whole and just print the formatted date? Of course, the answer is format. So now come back to code and tell me, instead of appending join dates toString, replace it by formatted date. Waiting for a minute. You understood what I said? I said replace this join date.toString by its formatted version. I'll give you a clue. Simple date format, super class date format has a format method. SDF.format. Very good, Nimish. Good going. So the format method has to be called on simple date format. So here now, what is the invoker reference? SDF. Which is the method you want? Format. What goes in the date, that is join date, and what it returns is the string format. So this is what is your SDF.format join date. In goes the date class instance. And how will it get formatted? DD, that is day /month /year. Reach here. I'll wait here for a complete minute. You let me know whenever you are catching up. Yes. Done. Very good. So now sync up with me. When I say sync up, what I mean is just confirm. Check your import list. Your import list must be importing simple date format and java.util.date. All good? Your employee state must be ID, name, email, department ID, join date, salary. Plus, you must have added a simple date format. You will understand in 10 minutes why I said keep it public. But why we made it static? For example, what will happen if you remove, I'm so sorry, if you remove the static keyword, how many copies of simple date format would be made then? If I make it as a non-static one, instance variable, how many? Yes, per object. So suppose you recruit 100 employees, there would be 100 additional simple date format objects. Required or not required? Of course, not required. So always ask yourself a question, how many copies you want? If the answer is 1 per instance, mark it as an instance variable. And if it is 1 copy to be shared across multiple instances, mark it as static. And then I said, what is the best way of, initializing the static members? Static initializer block. So we did that. This is the pattern. Are we forced to use only this pattern? Of course not. When I take you to advanced Java, you will see that there is a technology called as HTML. So it's a markup language basically. So that has input type date and it sends the date in a typical format, year, month, and day. So then we can change. Okay. But can you change this format specifying characters? Answer is absolutely no. They are all predefined. And if you want to look at it, later open the Java docs of simple date format. They have given you the table from era details, BC, AD details till millisecond. And only once we have used it. So here, instead of calling date classes toString, what are we replacing it by? Formatted date. Are we all good? Has everyone caught up? Nobody is lagging behind? Can we continue? Okay. So now look at the design diagram. I did not mention it because first of all, I did not have time. People had already left. So now we are definitely, not now, but in the third step, we are definitely going to identify certain validation rules. Are we going to write all of them together and saturate you? No. We will just add one rule at a time. And then we will test the whole thing. And the moment I see you are comfortable, then I can say, okay, do it now on your own kinds. So let me ask you, when you accept the user input, employee inputs, we will be calling, who will be calling? Tester will be calling validation rules. And in case validation rules are not followed, will JVM throw the system exception, built-in exception, or will you have to throw the custom exception? System built-in exception or custom exception? So answer is custom exception. So I'm giving you 5 minutes. Give me a custom exception class. Don't mix it in core classes. So create a separate package, custom underscore exception or whatever. Keep the name something, standard name, employee handling. Add a constructor to initialize the error message. Waiting for next 5 minutes. Actually, 2-3 minutes will be enough. You understood what you are doing? I'm waiting here. So give me custom exception class and please make it as checked exception. Start. Yes, Omkar. What I'll do is, I'll do better than that. I will send you this employee class so that there is no lagging behind. D9 lab, src com app over employee. Guys, I have sent you employee.java plus Omkar, I'm showing you this also. So whatever you not understood, you can catch up.
Can I share my screen, ma'am?
For only employee, I have sent you that employee.java. What
But
is
I
it you
don't
are
want
having?
to
Are you having
refresh.
compiler error or what is it you are having?
I'm having some error.
Share.
because I'm
Share. Yeah, maximize that screen so that I can see that. Show me where you have declared this simple date format. You have got a opening closing bracket problem. See this. Very good, Mohad. We'll wait. After line number 25, there has to be a closing bracket for employee class constructor. You should be able to solve the compiler this thing by now, Omkar. Anyway, bring it down. Okay. Yes, guys, I'm helping him. So now public static for this. Wait a second. Pick up this field, line number 30, and declare it along with the state. Yeah. Control exit, Omkar. And pick it up and keep it right at the top. Scroll up. Go up. Yeah. And after the salary, insert it. Okay. Control V. Paste it. Say Control Shift A. Save and say Control Shift F. It will format your code. Very good, Avinash. Control Shift F karo. Okay. So now come down. So this was your first problem, the closing brackets. Now let's see this. So here you have employee ID. You yourself can do that. Add a semicolon after sdf.format. This semicolon chahiye na? sdf.format ke niche. It shows you. Add a semicolon. Semicolon and that. Semicolon I said, not curly braces. Semicolon. It's a Java statement. No, not parenthesis. Semicolon I'm saying, Omkar. Okay. And here, let's see anything else he's done wrongly. Plus joined it. Joined it equal to. No, there is a something wrong here. Joined it equal to. Yeah, remove that equal to. Joined it equal to. Remove that fully. Remove that. Yeah. And plus, remove that semicolon as this double quotes. And in the, remove that double quotes. And in that SDF dot format, give the argument. Format requires argument. Give type there join date. The format ka argument should be join date. Argument Omkar between the parentheses. Type karo wahan pe join date. Control space karo. Control space. You don't have to type so much. ऐसे नहीं join date. Come on. Use write J or something and do that. Yeah, that is what you have chosen. Karo. Karo na. Click on that. Just say joined it सिर्फ लिखना है argument में किसका argument किसको कर रहे हो joined it ना so variable name is joined it and now I was saying control space it anyway okay so now what else plus extra हो गया line number 39 में 2 plus आ गए remove that plus अरे वो नहीं हाँ SDF format के पहले का हाँ so that is gone now come here what is remaining in line number 50 I have shared with you this code, Omkar. I mean, this kind of errors, you should seriously solve on your own. Are semicolon add karo. And now you have taken only care of if. In other case, you have to return false. So, uske niche, line number 50 ke niche, and say return false. You should be, guys, I'm not talking only to Omkar. By now, you should be aware of this semicolon adding and the brackets matching and all that. Yeah, save it. Okay, stop sharing the screen, Omkar. Are semicolon add karo return false ke baad. Every Java statement has to be ended with a semicolon. Stop sharing.
thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so as I think I have waited enough. Has everyone finished writing the custom exception class by now? Okay, great. So let me generate it in a minute. Generate means write it in a minute. So just confirm whenever I'm saying SRC. See the way I'm using the shortcuts and because you everything I don't expect you to type. So I wanted the different package. So I'm calling it as custom exceptions. Here, the name of the class has to start with uppercase. So I'm just calling it as employee handling exception. It could be invalid ID, it could be invalid email, could be anything. And here, what is the super class? What should it extend from? Tell me the name of the superclass, please. It should be extending from which class? Of course, extends from exception. Okay. And here, if you write only this much, it will still work. But what will be the value of the error message? The error message's value क्या होगी इसमें? Null होगी. So how do you remove that null? You simply add, see the guys, see how I'm generating the code, how I'm using the shortcuts. I just said employee and control space. If you say control space, it will give you. This is not a typing context. This is a coding context. So here, and how many arguments you want to give here? Error message, or you can say simply a message. And what is it you want to call here? You want to call the superclass constructor, which is exception, and pass the message. So simply say super message. And if you observe, Control Shift F karo bar bar, because that will auto format your code. But if you notice, you have a warning here. So can I tell compiler to suppress the warnings? Is it possible? Yes, you're right, this one. So there is a yellow bulb, warning bulb here. Click on that. It will give you so many options. So choose currently suppress warnings and your code will be warning free. This is optional. What is that serialization and all about? Later you will understand. So tell me, have we completed it? Done? Anyone wants me to wait? Does anyone want me to wait? हो गया या नहीं हुआ? Mute yourself. Somebody is unmuted. Omkar, please catch up. Mahesh, please catch up fast. It's a one-liner class, literally. I'm waiting for a minute, not more than that. And I have shared that employee Java. So take it if you could not finish because of your compiler errors or anything else. Yeah, guys, we are waiting for 2 minutes because some of them require more time. So you can design. Don't start with the code because this is the most critical thing of today. So just wait, but you can keep your thoughts ready. And I'm giving you a clue. We're not going to add everything. So I'll tell you which one we will do. Okay, I'll go for the easiest one. We will check that email must contain @ character. So one rule at a time. I'm waiting here for a minute. Those who are saying wait for 2 minutes, you have to tell me to go ahead because I'm genuinely waiting for you guys. For example, Omkar, I can see, Mahesh, I can see. So your job to tell us whenever you are done so we can really continue and not waste everyone's time. Do let me know, guys. Done? Very good, Omkar. How about you, Mahesh? Done. Okay, so nobody wants me to wait, I hope. Anyway, I'm discussing. So in the meantime, you can catch up. So now you can start writing the tester, but I'm saying tester is anyway. See the method. See the invocation. Tester is going to call the methods of the validation rules and validation rule class, and validation rules class is either going to throw the exception to be handled by this, or it is going to return the validated data. So logically speaking, let us write this class first. So we are writing, we are creating that validation rule separately so that tomorrow some validation rules change. I don't have to touch my tester. All the changes will become restricted to this. So what is the next thing we are writing is the validation rules. So open that. And here, validation rules are not the core class. It is not a custom exception. So please create a separate package. Packages are for functional separation. So click on SRC, click on C here. And since it is like a utility class, generally I give the name of the package as utils. It is not java.util. It is our own utility APIs, our own functionalities, our own APIs. And here you can see that employee utils, or you can call it as validation rules, anything. So let's have the standard name, validation rules, and create it. Understood my thinking behind why the separate package and the separate class? To keep the validation rules separate. Done. Created the class. Can I continue? I hope you realize what I did. A separate package, separate class. Now here, I will give you in comment and you will give me the code, because the clue is exception handling. So here, am I going to bombard you with all those 4, 5, 6 rules which I said? Absolutely not. We'll just write one rule. We will test it. You will have the confidence and then we'll go ahead. That is how it will be. Okay. So add, sorry. I have already written add. So here I have to add a method. So should I create this validation rule as a static method or non-static method? Everything I'm going to ask you. With your consent, we are going to write. Static is always a better option. See, I can always write it as non-static, but then tester will have to create its object and then call it. And typically, utility calls, library methods and all are static. So add a static method. Okay. Add a static method to validate email. Only one method you are giving me at a time. So you have to write. I'm just going to give you a hint and I want to see how you write. Add a static method. Of course, sorry. It has to be public, private, default, protected or public. Give me the access specifier, public, because who's going to ask it? Who's going to call it? A tester class which is outside the package. So add a public static method to validate the email. Okay. So I'll just be there for your method declaration. So start with the method declaration. One more thing. Who is going to invoke it? Invoked by which class is going to invoke this validation rule? Tester. Very right. So invoked by the tester class. Keep everything with you and tell me public static. Now comes the return type. So can you tell me what should be the return type of that validation, validate email? We're going to write a method, validate email. So it can be, again, somebody is saying Boolean. You missed my statements, guys, in the exception handling. Don't return Boolean true or false and again check. That means you are not understood how to throw the custom exception and all that. So typically, it can be void also. But you will understand. See, I have to take you to different level, new level every day. So let's keep it as this. User means tester will give you the email. If all is okay, return the validated email back. And if there is some problem, throw the exception. That is what we want. So for some reason, you will understand the reason later. Actually, just a second. Yeah, we'll keep the same this. So here, sorry. You can write it with void also, but this will become easy for you to manage. So public static string, and here give the method name as validate email. And here pass the email here. I'll repeat my statement. Some of you may not have understood it. First question, who is going to call this validate email method? Tester. How it will call? Either using validation rules.validate email, or if I were you, I'll use import static because it is faster is not the word, it is better. And here user means scanner. So from scanner, you will accept the email. That email will be passed to here. So now write a method. If the email contains, what is the thing? What is the rule? What is the validation rule? The rule is, I've given you a very easy rule. The rule is it should contain, must contain what? Which character? @ So We have done something in the, yeah, .com is can come later. So right now, at least give me one. I will increase it to .com later. So here, at the rate, I'm giving you one by one. So here, just tell me which method you will use. We have done strings today. Anyone wants to tell me? Contains is the method you can use. And if you want to add it should end with .com. So somebody was saying .com. I had not given. So let's make it, and must end with .com. So do you remember any method for checking this? You can use contains itself, but I want a specific suffix. Exactly. So the method is ends with. So for this, use your string class method, contains, and here use the ends with method. Okay. So I'm waiting here for 5 minutes. You write the method. I've given you the declaration. You write the method, and then I will write it, and then you'll compare. So the method should return you the validated email if all goes well. Otherwise, it should throw the custom exception. Start. Keep that string class in the Java docs open, and you can start. You can do that.
मैम टर्नरी से भी कर सकते हैं ना?
किससे?
टर्नरी ऑपरेटर।
टर्नरी ऑपरेटर? यहाँ पे टर्नरी नहीं लगेगा. Okay,
If
anyway,
else,
I don't want to this. You do it the way you want it, and then just I'll check. करके दिखाओ, then I will say. Here you don't require that. Ternary nahi lage. I mean, as far as I can see, it is much easier than that also. But if you want to use ternary, you use it and take look. I'm going to write in 5 minutes anyway. Yeah, so you have tried Yogesh. I'm just waiting for another 2-3 minutes, and then I'll discuss and I'll write the code. So you check it at that time, Yogesh, please. I've given you in detail, like what is to be done. Done? Very good, guys. Let's wait for another 1 or 2 minutes for everyone. Because this is a part of larger code, larger application. but writing it in a systematic, step-by-step manner. So guys, those who have not understood, it should return the validated email in case there are no errors. In case of errors, throw the custom exception. Waiting. This is your actual hands-on on exception handling. Those who have done it, great. Let's wait for others. Keep telling me whenever you finish. So, I get a feedback. How is it going? I can count just hardly 10, 11 of you have done. What about others? Not yet done? Okay, so more of you. Just let me know in the sense, I have a correct idea about where you are. Okay, so now I have waited for 10 minutes. So let's have, you have a check. If condition, that's why I was telling somebody you don't require a ternary here. You can use, but currently I'm not using. So start. So what is the check you have to have? If email, which is the method to search for a particular substring for a particular character, contains, you remember contains method, and char sequence is nothing but the string. So if it contains @ and what should I use? Anding or oring? Answer is not return error, Ragini. I never asked to read the message, read the question. Throw the custom exception is the thing. So here, and use short circuit operator, because if it doesn't contain @ why you are checking the domain? Don't check the domain. And email. See, hear it. It should contain @ and it should end in whatever .com ends with. It tells you immediately. So ends with, what is it we are looking for? .com. By the way, the email validation happens very beautifully with regex, regular expression. But since you have not done it, I'm not writing that way. So tell me, if both of them, if it is containing @ and ending in .com, is it a valid email ID or is it not? Valid or invalid? If both the conditions are true, so in that case, I have given you return the validated email ID to the caller, return email. But if the control comes here, what does it mean? What does it imply? Valid email ID or invalid? What does it imply here when the control invalid? So did I ask you to return the error or something? See, otherwise throw the custom exception. So invalid email, this is where you are supposed to throw your JVM. This is beyond the JVM. So throw the custom exception. Already written and given in clarity. So here, which is the keyword for raising the exception? Is it throw or is it throws? Answer is throw. What is the syntax of throw? Throwable instance. So instance कैसे बनाते हैं? New. And do you want to use your system exception, built-in exception classes, or you want to use your custom exception class? Answer is custom exception. और कौन सा बनाया है? Employee handling. See guys, why I code faster? Because I use lot of control space, IntelliSense it is called. And here, what is the suitable error message? Invalid email. You got this? So those who are returning the error string and all, don't do that. That is what not that I see. Otherwise, the caller will have to test. Is it ending in error or not, and all this testing. You have learned exception handling, use that. Now, last and final question. Why there is a compiler error, guys? Why there is a compiler error? Unhandled, don't say just check. Unhandled, checked exception. Which are the two ways? I can either put it in a try-catch block, or I can say delegate it to the caller. So if we are going to write 10 such validation rules, which is a better approach? Throws or try-catch? Delegation sounds better. So here you add, by the way, again a shortcut. Just click on here and it will tell you what is it. So it will suggest You don't have to blindly follow it. So I'm saying, if you don't want ID to help you, you can yourself write it. So where does throws come? In the method declaration. Throws, and which is the exception you are trying to throw is, it may throw is, sorry, employee handling exception. So this finishes our first validation rule. I'll wait here for a minute so that everyone catches up. Understood the explanation? Understood how we are writing it? So somebody was saying with ternary, and also I could not really see why you want ternary here. It is done in this manner. You don't require even else, because here it is returning the validated email. Here you are throwing the exception otherwise. Are you clear or are you lost? Okay, so guys, completed. Whoever had not completed it, completed. Because now we are going to write a tester. You will say there are so many these things, validation rules you gave us. Of course, we will write, but one at a time. First, I want to test it and give you the confidence that it works. And it works so nicely. So that way. Anyway, I'm waiting here for a minute. Please complete. Don't lag behind, please. I can always send you the code, but as much as possible, don't copy paste from my code. It stops your thinking then. I've sent you that validation rules in case you want it. And write lot of comments so you'll understand what is it you are doing. Some of you had already written it. So others also please tell me whenever you are done so I can take you to the tester. Okay, so some more of you have done it. I am waiting for another 1 whole minute. No, Pankaj, we will be writing that try-catch block in the tester, centralized exception way. That is when you will see it. We don't generally write it at the method level. If you want to try it at the method level, Pankaj, you can just remove that throws and surround that body inside the try-catch block. I've already shown these examples in exception handling code on Saturday. Here I'm showing you better pattern, centralized error handling. Okay, so now anyone wants me to wait here? Wait, this employee class should be ready, custom exception should be ready, and validation rules with one validation rule. Sorry, validation class with one validation rule. Can I continue or anyone wants me to wait? Okay, so people are saying this. Though if you say wait, then only I'll wait. Otherwise, I'll not waste your time. So now, please bear in mind, we have not completed all the rules. One rule only I have added. So now, what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you 10 minutes. I'll of course discuss. So now create a separate package and you can say test employee organization or test employee or whatever. You know all the things, but I'm highlighting. So anyway, first what I'll do is I will create that and I'll write comments so that you can complete it. So do it with me. SRC class, create the package name as tester and let's say test employee based organization. So generate main. So it's going to be the starting point. It's like a driver code, the one which drives the entire application. So here, everyone knows scanner. So here, open the scanner using try with resources. Okay, I'm writing in points. Create a array-based structure so that you can store the employees. Then which are the variables we declare? Exit type of a variable, declare your counter. Then start a while loop with the options. And which options initially? Only option 1. Don't write the cases. Case we are going to write together. Just give me the options for hiring the employee. Second is display all. And the third is exit. Keeping it all easy. So give me the while loop. Then give me the empty switch case loop. And write this much and keep the code ready. You understood what I want? Scanner opened with try with resources. You got a employee array, Boolean exit flag, counter flag, and while not exit, show the user options and switch case it with create 3 cases. Don't write any code in case, only add break. And let us wait for everyone. So this is a template code. This is the code you have written 20 times already. Finish it in next 5 minutes. I'm waiting for you. This is just to give you some coding practice and so on. This is just a skeleton code, a template code. Don't add any logic in case and all. That we will discuss and we'll do it. Done? Very good, Nidhi. I'm just waiting for a couple of more minutes. You know, in the meantime, while we are waiting for others, you can think about what is it we are going to do, how we are going to call the methods and all. Very good, guys. So we are just waiting for another 2-3 minutes for everyone so that nobody feels like, you know, lagging behind and all that. So do catch up others. I'm still waiting for another 2-3 minutes. Okay, so I'll start doing it. You know, try with resources. Everyone should know the syntax by now. So guys, when you open the curly brace, Accordingly, close it. So you'll not waste so much time and you will not be hassled with compiler errors. So first thing, this is within this, declare a scanner. So simply say control space and it will show you java.util.scanner. I use IntelliSense, that is why I can type so fast. And what should be the argument? Everyone knows. So this is within try with resources. Why you can open scanner? Since scanner is a auto closable. Right? So only those resources which have implemented auto closable, they can be opened. Now here, understood this much? Done. Very good. So I'm solving it anyway parallelly. I promise you that we will do it in a parallel manner. So now, since I want to store multiple employees details, let us create an array. First, ask question. If you want, you can hard code the value or ask user a question. Maximum how many employees? What is your budget? Maybe for this year, how many employees can you recruit? So enter maximum number of employees to hire. Okay. User might say anything else. So now you know only array. Soon you will understand more. So I'm saying employees, guys. Of course, let's go systematically. When you say employee, is employee in the same package or is it in a different package? Same or different? Different. So what you have to do is import. So here I'm being lazy. I'm relying on ID. So I just said control space. Can you see, guys? It has imported that. Here you can say, always give the variable names which you can understand. So EMPS or employees or organization, don't call it as E or F for this thing. Doesn't mean anything. Okay. New employee array. So I'm using this round bracket or square bracket. It's a array object you are creating. So square bracket. And what should be the size? Size should be user supplied. Next end. So one single array object is only created. And if I set the size of the organization is 100, all those 100 slots, EMPS 0 to EMPS 99, are initialized to which values?
0.
Wrong answer. First of all, don't unmute yourself and this. Anyway, your answer was wrong. Of course, it is an array of references. So reference default value is 0 or what? Wake up and answer. It's null. So all array slots initialized to nulls. So think before you answer. And now the standard things are, you can declare the exit flag, make it as false because we are not exiting. So I can use while not exit. I have to initialize the counter only till we have collection framework. I mean, before we enter the collection framework, initialize it to 0. And here, then you supply the while loop. So here is your while. So this is the template. So this template should be ready within no time. So this is your outer one, while. Then you have got the inner one, switch casing. So before that, I'll just give the options, SOP. You can keep this template code ready and copy paste around because this is like a test case. We are writing something called as test cases. So you don't spend too much time on this. So one is hire employee. 2 is display all information, display all employees information. And the third one is maybe exit. Let's keep it initially simple. And then you have, when you say SW and control space, it gives you that entire switch case. So again, when I say you can use this, I hope you are comfortable in writing switch case. If you are saying, no, still I don't know how to write switch case, don't use the IntelliSense. And here, ask user to choose the option. See here, choose. Choose or choose option or something. And what will be the argument of switch here? We are using simple integer arguments. So next end. And here I told you, just keep these 3 cases ready without any code. You don't require default because all options we are giving is this. So you can of course add default anytime and you can say there invalid option. And what should I do in case 3? Toggle the exit flag to true. When you say exit is true, what will be the value of not exit? What will be the value of not exit? False, and the iteration will be over. And here, can you just match it? See this. This is your end of switch. This is your end of while. This is your end of try with resources. And at this point, what will happen? Use Control Shift F for formatting. The try with resources, whenever it is getting over, this is your class over. Write it here. If you are still confused in matching, this is class over. This is your main over. And this is your try with resources over. Okay. And at this point, what will JVM call? sc.close and close the scanner. So I'm sending you this code so that people don't struggle at this point. Because otherwise, you will miss the important next instructions. I'm sending you this. I would be very happy if you type it on your own and do it on your own. But in case you are unable to, I've shared this template code. I'll wait for a minute till you say I can go ahead. This is that template. Every time, almost similar code you'll be writing. Of course, whenever there are changes, I'll suggest. Finish it fast. Okay. Anyone wants me to wait, or everyone has come to the same step, same level? Okay, Diksha is saying done. Anyone wants me to wait, guys? That is why I'm purposefully, sharing the code in between. Okay. So now focus on case 1. I'm going to tell you something in writing and you will write the code. I mean, we'll discuss and develop. So tell me, is boundary condition checking here required or not required? Answer is required. So everyone knows that boundary condition checking, because you cannot blindly do that. Let me check your understanding. For case 1, boundary condition checking required? Yes. For case 2 and case 3, required or not required? Not required. For case 2, null checking will be required, but boundary condition will not be required. So everyone knows what I'm talking about. So if counter is less than, what was that? Whatever is the variable name, emps.length, then in that case, no issues. In the else case, what is it we used to write? Tell me. We used to write recruitment over, error message. Everyone understands me? Yes or no? In the else case, we used to write an error message. But guys, you have learned exception handling. So I don't want you to write a SOP here. Instead, in the else case, throw custom exception. I'm giving you a lot of practice today. That is why I thought of this idea that, okay, let's have a parallel coding session. Throw custom exception. And what should be the error message there? Recruitment over. Okay. So and we'll see how that entire flow changes. So tell me, what will you write? Show me, what will you write in this else branch? Don't write the error message SOP recruitment over. We will derive it through the exception handling. So everyone knows how to throw custom exception. Write it for me. You write it in your code, own code. Everywhere we are applying that. Throw new employee. This Mohammed is right. So here, else throw, do that. Throw new, same exception. See, you don't have to create different exceptions. This is employee handling scenario. So I can use my earlier one. See, I'm using control space. That is how I'm getting it. And here give the error message, recruitment over for this particular year or this particular semester or quarter or whatever. Reach here. Okay. But the moment you do this, immediately you have a compiler error. Guys, the best way to understand concept is by hands-on, with hands-on. So I'm just trying this approach. So anyone wants to tell me why there is a compiler error? I have said this so many times. Throws and all is the solution, guys. I said why there is a compiler error? Unhandled checked exception. So what are the different ways of satisfying the compiler? One is throws. Yes, unhandled checked exception is the complete. I'm telling you to use this jargon so that when you use these terms in interviews, interviewer will not ask you further questions because he doesn't need to ask you anything. So now there are two options. One is try catch and one is throws. So if I say throws, this whole code is written in the main method. So here you will say throws employee handling exception. So listen to what I'm saying. Stop your coding. If I had given the employee array size as 10 employees I can happily recruit. But the moment I start recruiting the 11th one, where the condition will be, I'll go into else. And because you have not handled it and delegated it to JVM, kya hoga? Will the code get aborted or will the code continue? Code will get aborted. So guys, as a typical programming this, see, you can keep delegating the exceptions till you reach main. At least somewhere, I think Pankaj, if I'm not sure, if I'm not wrong, he was telling me show it with a try-catch block. I told him we are going to write a try-catch block. So how many try-catch blocks would you like to write? One per validation method or only single one in a centralized manner? Answer is centralized. So now come here and understand me correctly. Listen to the question correctly. Okay. So suppose this is where your try with resources is getting over. Okay. So yahan pe, agar if I add the catch block here, what will happen? Try can end with a catch. So what will happen? Are you understanding my question? If I add, see this, don't have to imagine. So if I say catch here, and here if I say give a tag, such as error, catch all block, and if I say simply plus E. So observe, error is gone, compiler error is gone. But tell me, is it a correct approach or a wrong approach? Okay, the answer is yes. Answer is it is a wrong approach because what will happen? The moment exception is thrown, you have to be clear with the loops and all that. Which loop will get aborted? While will get aborted. Control will reach the catch block. Okay. And after catch, main gets over and again your application terminates. So tell me guys, if there is a recruitment full, do you want that application to terminate or I can still display, I can still enjoy other options? Answer is no. So this is not a good approach. So can anyone tell me what should be the looping structure? Outermost is while, and within that, what is it we are going to add is try catch block. See, all these things are very interesting. If you apply, this is your actual business application. So here you have got this while not exit. Here you add, you can have a nested try, that outer tries for try with resources, add try block here. This is your switch over, and here add the try block is over, and here you add a catch all. And currently I'm saying just we will add error message. I'm just saying error, and which error we are printing. I said a lot of things, so I'm pausing here for next 2 minutes. So that this is what is more practice. And of course, I'll send you this much. I'll keep sending you the code, whichever we are creating together. All this will become very, what you say, useful or very repetitive. First day, everything is difficult. Tomorrow, day after, and all things will start looking easier. So see the looping structure. While loop, outermost. Within that, you have a try catch block. Innermost will be switch casing. Here, switch over. Those who cannot little bit have this thing, looping structure and all. So here you have try, inner try over. And then you have this catch-all block and error handling done. I'll wait till you say you have done it. Good. We'll wait for another minute so that everyone finishes. I've shared my code, but don't just copy paste from it. Just keep it for your reference. In case you're totally stuck, you can look at it. Otherwise, don't even look at it. Ignore. Good going, guys. Those who have done it, but let's wait for another minute for everyone. See, when I say wait, you don't have to technically wait. You can continue writing. And when I discuss, you can always check. Okay. So now focus here. If I come to this line number 32, what does it imply? Is there space in the organization or is the recruitment over inside the if? Of course, there's a space. So what you can do here, what you have been doing always. So here you can say enter employee details. Okay. It's going to be very interesting because everything what you have learned, inheritance I'm not applying here, but other parts, everything will get this. So user doesn't know which sequence and all. So please help user. Good UI is required. So how I do it, I just copy that constructor arguments because I don't want to remember it all the time. And here, add that here. See, I'm showing you all the tricks to finish the code fast and remove all these data types. And you can see here, when you say date, of course, it's a join date. And then I'm saying this is the salary. Just add this much so that, user understands what are the inputs you are going to take. Done? Just I have not written anything. Just I have added a SOP. Enter employee details. Kuch bhi nahi. Complete? Okay. So now tell me, we have applied the validation rule for what? We have written only one validation rule. Is it for ID, names, or whatever? It is for email, right? Rest, of course, we are going to validate each and everything or whatever required things, but one at a time. So here, now tell me, should I directly add the employee details in that array, in that object and put it in the array, or should we call the validation rule first? We should be calling the validation rule, obviously. Everyone understands me? So now tell me, who has to call whose method for which purpose? So don't tell me like this. Tell me here in this picture. So what are we writing currently? Which class are we writing currently? Tester. So who has to call whose method? Tester has to call that validation rules method and find out whether it is validated or not. Everyone is clear? Tester has to make the call. So tell me, is it a static method which we have written or a non-static method? Static method. So will I need to create the instance of this class or can I call it directly? All these is said earlier. Directly is the answer. And every time, do you want to say validation rules dot validate email, or would you be happier writing only validate email? Of course, the only validate email. So what is it we use is, here we use import static. So right, I'll just keep it all together. So here, let us add that import static. I'm still not sure because I can't test everyone's code and people don't tell me sometime. What has to follow after import static? The name of the class, fully qualified name. So it is in utils. So say utils. What is the name of the class whose static method you want to call? Simply say control space. I hardly type things. That is why. Only focus on understanding. Don't focus on typing. And then here, which is the method? Again, I'm hitting control space. So here I got this fully. So read it from left to right. Utils package ka validation rules class ki validate email method I can access directly. Clear so far? Understood the import static syntax? And now let's, because I have not added any other rules, see what we are doing. So here, let's say employee. Let's create an employee object. Employee is equal to new employee. Okay, we're going to call the validation rule. Don't worry. So tell me, the first one is employee ID. Are we adding any validation rules there? No. So directly you can say here sc.nextend. What is the next two things you are having? Next two things, the two names. See, we are going to add the validation rules, but step by step. I don't want to saturate you. So here, simply say sc.next for that first name. Add sc.next to that last name. And now here you have an email. So tell me, do you want to validate it or do you not? I mean, you need to validate it first or not? Answer is yes. So now here, simply call a validation method. Simply say value or something. It will give you, it will pop up, it will give you auto completion. And here, how do you read the email ID? How do you read a string? sc.next. Now I hope you will realize why I told you don't return void. Otherwise, how could I have directly kept it in this employee class constructor, right? So what is that validate email is going to do for us? The control will go from here, control click to here. It will check @.com. It will throw the exception in case of a failure. Otherwise, it will return me the validated email ID. So I'm showing you one rule at a time. So I'll wait here till you finish this much.
Ma'am, will you please repeat that import?
Yes, import static repeat करो, ठीक है. See that. First thing is using this, not import, ये import static है. So what is import static? Import static allows you to directly access all the static members. So let me ask you this way. Whoever asked me the question, I did not notice. अगर मैंने ये यहाँ पे comment किया, तो क्या लिखना पड़ेगा यहाँ पे आपको? What is it you'll have to write here? Class name dot member name, यानी validation rules dot validate email. So that is a too much of a mess. So here when you say import static, read this. पहले package name आएगा. After that class name. And after that, either you can say star to what? To import all static members. But I don't have multiple. I just had validate email method. So that is the syntax. I'll write a comment here. Can directly access. Can directly access. I'm not saying all. The validate email method of the which class? Validation rules class. This is the statement. You understood? Whoever had asked the question? Clear hai?
Yes.
Give me some answer, yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So see the thing. What is it we are doing? We have not done. We are halfway done. So here I'll highlight and you please answer. sc.next क्या return करेगा? String. That is an email based string. You are passing that string to which class, which validation rule? Validate email. And validate email क्या करेगा? If I give something which does not end in .com, so what will method do? What will that validation method do? क्या करेगा? It will throw the exception. But are we handling the exception in this method? No. So the exception will be delegated to this. And do you remember we have added a try catch block inside the while? So you will see here error message, invalid email, and again we get a chance to retry. So that is what I'm going to show you in couple of next minutes. So first we'll have to complete it. So now go ahead. So here department ID. So department ID क्या है? String है. So what will you replace this by? Have I messed up something? Just a second. Next first name, last name, email, and department ID, right? sc.next. Okay. And here, forget the join date. Just write the last one, which is double salary, sc.next double. I'm keeping the whole code in front of you. अभी सिर्फ एक करना है. I just want somebody to tell me how should I get this join date? I'll show you in the morning session. So join date कैसे निकालोगे? I'll wait till you finish. I'm not in a hurry at all. So employee.sdf.parse sc.next. You are very right, Yogesh. But I'll just this thing. Here, Yogesh, parsing. That is what we discussed, right? But the point is, Yogesh, you don't have to say class name.sdf if you use the import static. But you are on a very right track. You are given the correct answer. So guys, hear me. Which is the name of the class which does the parsing from string to date? Give me the name of the class. No. Which is the name of the class? Employee doesn't do the parsing. Simple date format does it. Okay. So now you open your employee class and just check. Do we have any simple date format instance here? Yes. And it is public. So can I access it outside the package, outside the class and all that? Yes. So now there is one more chance of you to do the static import. So tell me, if you don't use that import static, क्या लिखना पड़ेगा? Yogesh had given me employee.sdf, but I'm too lazy. I want to just call it as sdf. तो कैसे करोगे? You will have to add another import static. This is your practice of all that. So start with me. Sorry. Import static. What should come now? Tell me. Whose static member you want to access? Employee class ka static member. It is visible. So first write the fully qualified employee class name com.app.core.employee. और employee का कौन सा static member you want to access directly? SDF. Are you getting it now? Whoever was confused with that import static. I'm giving you so many chances of looking at it all the time. Are you here? I mean, are you understanding, guys? Import static ka syntax. And then once you do that, I don't have to create another object. Why should I create the object when already it is there? यहाँ पे क्या लिखोगे? Null की जगह? What will you write instead of null? I'll wait. You respond. Let's see what people have responded. Only one response I got. Yes, you're right, Rohit. Everyone is clear? Okay, so here now I can access. I don't have to say employee.sdf and all that. It's so clumsy. So start using import static. Your code will reduce. sdf dot. You know the method. Parse method hai hi. What goes in? The string. How do you read the string? sc.next. And what comes out is the parse date. So I'll send you this line in case people are stuck. I should help everyone because I don't know individually where you are. So I've sent you this line, and this is going to get evolved into a very good code, but this is just a starting point. Like, done. Very good, Kritika. So finish it fast, guys, because I have a question to ask you. The static line, yes, of course, Omkar. Here. What I'll do is I'll send you this also. Import static. Import static पे अभी भी confusion है. These are the import statics. I am showing you this. It's not at all difficult. Just pay attention. So go from right to left. ये static method मुझे call करनी है. But I'm too lazy a programmer to type everywhere validate class name dot member name. उसकी जगह क्या आएगा? Import static पहले लिखो. उसके बाद fully qualified class name लिखो. And then give the name member name. So that's it. And similarly, I wanted to call the SDF ki parse method, but SDF is a part of employee. So this import static. Are we clear, guys? Understood? Avinash, that means you have not written that catch block. As easy as that. Check your catch block. I am going to show you the code. I rather send you the code. Catch block कहाँ पे चाहिए? Yes, ये आपका switch over है. This is your inner try over and उसके नीचे catch लगेगा. You may have forgotten this. Or you might have said catch on the employee handling exception. उसकी जगह catch all block लिख दो. Error जाएगी. Import करना है इसलिए. अरे I've said this so many times, guys. If you comment this, क्या करना पड़ेगा? कैसे लिखना पड़ेगा? You will have to say everywhere employee.sdf. So that is the shortcut I'm giving you. If you're not understanding import static, leave it because that's not so important today. For me today, the whole exercise is important. So keep writing everywhere employee.sdf. I'm okay with that. Okay. So here, now answer the question. If the control, okay, let me ask you. Suppose I give the invalid email. I have a question. If I give the invalid email ID, code control कैसे जाएगा? So यहाँ पे validation rules पे जाएगा. This will throw the exception. When the exception is raised, the code cannot continue. The method will get aborted. Control will come to the caller. Caller यानी क्या? ये line पे आएगा. So tell me, when the exception is raised high, ये try block continue होगा या abort होगा? Will the try be aborted or continued? Of course abort. So where the control will go? Control will go to the catch block. यहाँ पे क्या छपेगा? Error. You can say validation error, input error, कुछ भी. And this is for debugging e.toString. तो name of the exception मिलेगा और error message भी दिखेगा. ठीक है? And then, but after catch, this is what? This is your end of while. If you're unable to match the braces, right? क्या हो रहा है? End of while. So यहाँ पे loop will continue. Or again, you will show the options to the user and user can continue with the, user can correct the inputs and give it. Okay. So यहाँ पे, so if the control comes to the next line, what does it imply? I said if the control, execution control continues to the next line, what does it mean? Valid inputs or invalid inputs? बताओ, ये implies का symbol है. What does it mean? Valid inputs. And currently we are just validating वो parsing का date वाला thing and the email वाला. So it says, of course it is valid inputs. So once I have, once I have gathered this, look at this. Then it is all right to put it in the employee array. तो कैसे लिखोगे employee array में? EMPS of this, counter plus plus. Either you can say counter plus plus next line or here is equal to right hand side में क्या लिखोगे? What will you add? It's an array of references. So क्या लिखोगे? Validated employee reference. And if you want it, you can give a SOP message employee hired. Just give, don't give the details. If you want details, of course you can give, but anyway we are writing that display all employee hired. ये सिर्फ debugging के लिए है, actually you don't even require. So I'm sending you this code. No, Aniket, you did not hear me. You're not understanding. We are just adding one rule at a time. So, wo unique ID check and all will be developed over time. First, let me explain the structure of the code, and then adding multiple checks we will do over time. अभी सिर्फ email का validation and date का conversion चल रहा है. Primary key employee ID I have not yet checked at all. So what I'll do is I'll make a zip of this whole project, because I don't know where you are individually. So day 9 lab, I'm making a zip and sending it on the group. Chat pe send kar rahi hu. So that anyone wants it, anyone was lagging behind can catch up. It's a important thing for you to test. Testing ke baad hi flow samjhega. And now it is getting late. So I'll not show you today attaching debugger. Kal dikhaungi. If your lab faculty has already shown it, I don't have to take time. If you don't know how to attach debugger, tomorrow I'll explain. Okay, so are we ready to run? Shall we run it? Yes, you will get some help, Abhijit, but after a while, just a second, okay? First, we will test it with everyone. That means you are getting some compiler error, Abhijit. Compiler error aa rahi hai? Tell me. So take the cursor over that. Import mein, हाँ वही तो ना. So compiler error ही ना. Import mein that is compiler error itself. So just say import static. I have sent you the entire zip. So please check. Otherwise, you can later tell me, show me. Check it with my code which I have sent. I have sent you the zip file. Okay, so run karte hain. So here, just run this application. Don't run it like independently. Give the same inputs I'm asking you to give. So let's say 10. And then here, let's say hire employee. Please give the invalid email ID. वही validation rule तो check करना है ना. So suppose I say employee ID 101, A1, B1, and email ID something, and department ID R&D, join date. Now the rest of the inputs are not going to be read, but anyway, let's see that. And here, let's say, what was that format? We should have given the format to the user. Next time we'll write DDMMYY. Okay. So 1/2/2022 and the salary. And tell me whether you got into infinite loop. You have no other option than to abort. See, unless until you see the error, I can't help you for solving. Once you see the error, you will wake up and you'll say, okay, she had said something about this. Okay. So abort. How do you abort? There is a red cross here. I'm sorry, red square here to abort the application. So now you can see it has gone into the infinite loop, and every time it is getting input mismatch exception. Same observations you got. Okay, solution is one liner. No, that means you have given the correct inputs. That's why somebody says runs perfectly. That means she or he has given the correct inputs. अगर आपने गलत inputs दिए, तो 100% infinite loop लगेगा. Q. Understand that. So see this. Okay. See your own code. So we had given the invalid email. So tell me, when you give the invalid email, what will this code throw? Exception throw करेगा या continue होगा? ये method क्या करेगी? It will throw the exception. In between questions, guys, you have lot of lab faculties. So once I finish with my session, you take the individual lab faculties help. They will be there to help you. So first, let me cover the majority problems. So here, it will throw the exception. The moment exception is thrown, this try block will get aborted and control will go to catch. यहाँ पे exception, you are printing the exception, and now the code comes here while not exit में चला गया. Okay, and then when you say sc.nextend, email के बाद what is it you have given after email? Department ID. अगर department ID integer दिया तो may be चलेगा. So but department ID is string. So I had given R&D. I told you give the exact inputs as mine. So then tell me, your scanner is expecting an integer. You gave a string, which is the exception scanner will throw. कौन सा exception देगा scanner? Input mismatch. So scanner has not read the input. It found the invalid input. तो ये पूरा try catch ये हुआ, abort हुआ, switch abort हुआ. It went here. So you saw continuously there. Again the control comes here, but the label, the token was wrong. So that is why you have indefinite loop, infinite loop. So this is the problem. So what is the solution? Solution is when you come to after catching the exception, you would like to clear the entire scanner's buffer. So if you reach here, this is the end of your try. After end of the try, clear off all pending inputs from the scanner's buffer till next line. So is there any method where I can read the data till the end of the line? Koi method hai? Of course there is a method. Which is the method? sc.next line. So solution is a minute solution. But imagine you are in the lab exam or interviews, technical interview and your code throws you this. You completely panic. You don't know what is happening. So that is why I first show the error and then solve it. So यहाँ पे क्या होगा? All those remaining tokens, which could be department ID, salary, date and all, everything will be read off. So scanner's buffer will be cleared till the next line and now you try. So understood the solution? Solution sirf ye hai, if not understood, tomorrow morning, whenever you are fresher, we are going to continue in the same manner. So यहाँ पे catch all, I mean after catch all, just add a lifesaver line. Lifesaver means you know what I mean. sc.next line. Mute yourself, Sachin. So here sc.next line. Let's see what it does. So run this. So here suppose I say I want to enter maximum number of employees as 2. Here any employee give an integer, first name, last name, and give the wrong email ID. Give the this thing, somebody was saying code runs perfectly. So they must have given the correct input. Idea is to check the validation. So give the department ID as R&D, dd/mm/yy 2022 something, and the salary. And now tell me, are you still getting the infinite loop? Recursion, not recursion, infinite loop is the statement, or is it working fine? Working fine? You understood what we did? See, this is what is like practice or hands-on or practical. So see this, you have got an error. What is the name of the exception? Is it a built-in exception or is it a custom exception? Our own custom exception. And the reason is root cause is invalid email. Are we getting it, guys? Understood the fix? Understood the solution? See, this is how I'm going to do it. I mean, if this is how I do it with all the fresher batches. So here, now let's try this again. So now this time, give the, you know, something. So here, whatever, email ID. So here I say abc@. But, you know, I don't give a .com. I'm just playing with the whole thing. And here you can say the rest of the inputs, and they are not even going to be used. So here, and of course you should give that, you should get that invalid email. And now give the correct email ID such as abc@gmail.com, you know, @ and it should end with .com. So here, give the inputs correctly. So here, we are not doing any additional validation. I'm just starting you with the first validation rule. And abc@ let's say gmail.com. And then you have a department ID. And now give the correctly formatted date. You remember the SDF we have given dd/mm day/month/year. So let's say 21, that is the date. say month is 12th and end of this year, maybe 21st of December, and some salary you have. And you should see no error messages because you have given the correct validation rule and employees hired. We have not written your display, so you can't really test it. So play with the code, test your code thoroughly. Is it working? Give the invalid email ID and then give the completely valid ID and see whether you are able to recruit. Very good. You did not understand, Abhijit? I did it in a so I am anyway going to share the code. Here, catch all ke baad, add one line, sc dot next line. And this will clear off all the pending inputs in the buffer, as you saw. I don't know what is there to not understand. Just take the cursor Vaibhav here. You tell me, when you say sc dot next line, what does that sc dot next line ka kya karta hai wo? Vaibhav, I'm asking you because you said you did not understand. I'm trying to help you. Forget that, Girish, because right now I'm not rewinding all the way. Whenever you get the loop, you'll remember this. Vaibhav, I'm talking to you. What is the meaning of next line? It will read all the data from the scanner till which till which part? No, not continue. SC dot next line kahan pe continue? Array, I said, what is the meaning of SC dot next line? It will read all the tokens from the scanner's buffer till you come to that carriage return next line character. Okay. So what I was saying is, if you have given the invalid email ID, तो यहाँ पे exception आएगा. Meaning, your rest of the inputs, such as department ID है, join date है, salary है, वो read हो ही, it won't get read at all. तो ये scanner के buffer में रहेगा. And that is what will trigger all the continuous loop. So to get rid of it, we added this. Anyway, today I'll say sleep over it. When I say sleep over it, look at it yourself. अगर tomorrow morning तक भी the clear नहीं है, then you can ask me again. So this is one. So just write in a minute. I know it is already 6:01. So write this thing in a minute. So we'll at least confirm whether whatever you have done is working or not. So I'm saying employee details. पहले ये complete करो. And then we are having a normal for each loop. For each employee in employees, all the employee array may not be filled. Okay, so here we'll just do the null checking. So if E is not, oh sorry, E I can't use because there is an E here. I can maybe, it's a loop local. Yeah, loop local will happen. And then if it is not, then I'll say SOPE. So this you must have done multiple times by now. Printing the details using the for each. So it will call internally toString. There's no indirect referencing at all. There's no runtime polymorphism. There's nothing complicated. Simple. And just run it with at least 1 or 2 employees. So suppose I say 2. Let's say hire employee 1 and A1, B1 email ID. I'll say A1 at gmail.com. Department ID, join date, and the salary. And give some details. So again, I'm saying hire another employee. I'll just say this. So suppose I'm giving him the employee ID of 10, A2, B2, a2 at gmail.com. Suppose he is given the same salary and he's joining, the join date is also the same. And then you say display employees, and you should see both the employee details added. And the moment you try to hire another employee, I hope you have written the code with me. Do you remember we were checking the boundary conditions, and in case of error, we were throwing the exception, and that exception message was recruitment over. But if you start to display, my data is intact. So this is where I am stopping for today. But I'm of course telling you, if you want, what you can do more and all that. So tell me first, before I say anything further, is your code working? Those who have completed it. Some of you may not have completed. I'm going to share this project. So tomorrow morning, as many of you, please log in with your computers. Okay? Because in the first hour of tomorrow morning, before I take you to this thing, Rajiv, you do the little bit of, your lab faculties will help you because I'm about to log off. So you try it out. Yeah, otherwise tomorrow morning, I'll definitely help you. So coming back to the point, we are going to continue. Yes, Girish, I'm going to share the code. So please don't interrupt. I'm going to share the entire code. So keep this part of the code ready and tested and understood. And tomorrow morning, it is going to be, first hour is going to be a hybrid session, lecture lab session, where again like this, I will give you the instructions and I'll get the little bit coding ahead done. And then you will have even a better idea. So now I'm going to show you the code, Girish, or I'm going to share it. So just wait for a minute. So if you have the energy, you can definitely add just one more validation rule. Okay, don't be hyper. I mean, see, if you want, see, I have already given you the whole problem statement. But I'm saying don't be over hyper. You can give me this rule. So forget that uniqueness. If you want unique testing, equals and all we have written. But I'm giving you a simple exercise. So what I'm suggesting is try this one. This will be easy. The names. See this part. So here I'm saying the employee first name as well as last name. What should be the number of characters? Minimum length 4, maximum length 15. So is the exercise clear? Is the question clear? So you will be writing. So okay, let's discuss it. And then I'm going to log off. So here, answer my questions. So pehle karo Control Shift W, close all. I'm discussing how you are going to add one more rule. So tell me, will you need any changes in the employee class? Change or no change? Change लगेगा employee class में या नहीं लगेगा? Answer is नहीं लगेगा. Will you need to make any changes in this exception class? No change. Will you need any new custom exception? Of course not. This time it will be invalid name, something like that. So now know this. Will you need to make the change or something additional in the validation rules class में कोई लगेगा? Of course, yes. Are you understanding? Guys, just follow the pattern. Everything sounds difficult on the first day. But if you slog means if you take efforts, of course things start becoming easier. So यहाँ पे क्या लिखोगे आप? You will add one more method. What method? Validate first name. I would combine it in one, but you can write the way you want it. You can say validate first name. Input क्या होगा? First name होगा. What it will return? Validated first name. Otherwise, if the what is it called? It doesn't have the valid length, throw the exception. So just answer the question. यहाँ पे हमने string class की API use की, contains and ends with. Which API will you use for validation? वहाँ पे कौन सी method use करोगे? String class की कौन सी method? Of course length. What else? So is length the data member or a method? वो method है. मैंने दिखाई है string class की. If you don't remember, fine. You just open your whatever Java docs, look at string class and search for length method. So यहाँ पे length method है, which will return the length of the string, and you have the boundary conditions and figure it out. Figure it out means write the validation method. So tell me honestly, everyone understood how to write that validation method? Validate name? Okay, great. Now tell me, यहाँ पे कुछ change होगा या नहीं होगा? In the tester class, any change or no change? Okay, the answer is change. क्या change होगा? यहाँ पे आपने एक validation rule call किया, and here you just blindly accepted it. So now pass first name and last name also through your validation rules. कौन सी method call करोगे? Validate first name, validate last name, etc. And you will complete it. And you will see, you will be amazed in seeing that same, what is a structure. And this time, If you give the invalid first name or invalid last name, क्या होगा? This whole switch case will abort, try will abort, control will come to the catch all block, और यहाँ पे क्या error message display होगा? Whatever error message you have sent, invalid first name or invalid last name. Can you visualize it? At least, does everyone feel confident to try? Forget about completion. I'm never after completion. But अगर try भी नहीं कर, I mean, if you feel that okay, I don't understand a word of what you are saying, then we have a problem. ठीक है? So this is my suggestion. If you can take it, please take it and try out. You will feel greater. You'll feel nicer. You'll feel happier if you can at least manage something. And tomorrow morning, first hour, it is like a continuation of lab session. I always do this in all the batches. You ask your seniors, lecture, hybrid session, lecture lab. So I'll get the things done. So only cooperation I want from you is log in with your computer and we'll write some validation rules. And then I'll give you some more, hints of simplification, how the code is written. So of course, I'm going to upload whatever we have finished till now, day 9 lab, and I'll make it a zip and share. I'll put it right away on Google Drive. You take a look at it. Some of you, Rajiv, I guess, or somebody, I don't remember the names. I'm sorry for that. So please try to resolve your compiler errors or your runtime errors and all by comparing the code. And you take the whatever lab faculty's help and at least reach the same level as we are now. Got it? So that will be all for today. And we will continue this exercise tomorrow. So tell me honestly, is this helping you in coding? Is this helping you guys? Okay. So this is what we will continue tomorrow. At least one, first hour or first 2 hours. I can't guarantee how much time will require. Okay. So we will continue in that manner. And I'm telling you, give yourself time, give me time. Both of us require time to get to each other, to know each other. You'll definitely be better tomorrow evening. That will be all. I'll upload it in 2 minutes on Google Drive. You can continue. See you tomorrow.